Yeah, the Christian music guys. Make some noise for the Christian music guys.
What's up, everybody? Johnny B here with the Christian Music Guys podcast and CCM Magazine. We're sitting here with Tasha Layton at the premiere of her brand new documentary, Meet Me in the Valley. It connects right to the song, the new song, and we're here to talk all things about it. And I'm super pumped. Are you pumped? I know you're pumped.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to be here at the museum too, because I hadn't been here before.
Okay.
So I'm like fangirling over the place.
Yeah, I'm a gospel music geek. So
Really?
like I was telling Frank at the coffee spot, if you ever come see Frank at the coffee spot, just when I walk through here, it's like so nostalgic.
Yeah.
I was the kid who had an anti-skip CD player, and I would play Third Day records.
Yeah.
You know, and if my mom hit a bump in the minivan, I was like, Mom, slow down. Listen to Matt Powell.
And did you go to the tour they just had?
So Mark plays guitar. Is a great friend of mine. We've written a few songs together, and Atlanta's the last stop. So I'm hoping to maybe connect there, but they're at Red Rocks on my birthday.
Oh my goodness.
Which might be heaven on earth
That
to
would
see
be incredible.
their day at Red Rock, you know, and we're passing through, we're on the road this summer. So I'm like, if I time it just right,
Yeah.
pray really hard, maybe if I fast for 21 days, the Lord will hear me and it'll work out. But yeah, but I agree. This place is incredible. There's so much to look at and to read. And if you're a fan of Christian music at all, it'll put you in your feels. It'll get you right there. So maybe one day there'll be a piece of memorabilia from this song, from this idea, this documentary that you got today. I cannot wait to hear about it. Some of the writers, yourself, your husband Keith, Jacob Sooter, who's a legend, Meredith Andrews, who's incredible, Spirit of the Living God. Come on, let's go all the way. Come on.
Yes.
If you didn't open up at least one youth camp with Open Up
With
Heaven,
Meredith Andrews song.
then the Lord might have not shown up if he did.
Yeah.
You
You
know,
had two married couples that come together in a room.
yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. Well,
I loved it though.
yeah, can you speak about that? I know this song came from that collaboration, but it's what it's like to write with your husband and his spouse, and the difference, and maybe the covenant that comes from that. Can you talk to us?
Yeah, I love working with my husband. He is a writer, producer, multi-instrumentalist. He's been in Toby Mac's band for over 10 years now, and he's just so talented, it's not fair. You know? And
It's like sheer.
so I love writing with him because on the musical side, he knows what I like, what I don't like. He knows when I'm going to say no to something, He'll be like, Tasha's not going to like that,
Yeah.
But we've done it for so long. I mean, it feels pretty natural.
Yeah.
And so for us as a couple to write with Meredith and Jacob as a couple, my husband was her first producer. He won Liberty with her. There was a lot of history there. And so it was such an easy write. And I think what came away from that day was something so honest.
Yeah.
I think as we step into, viewing the documentary today, that's a really honest representation too. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I love that. And you mentioned that he knows you, like he knows, oh, this is going to work and this is not going to work. It's kind of like when you leave church and like, where are we going to go?
Yeah.
It's like you have this chemistry, like, we're not going to eat Mexican for the fourth day.
We don't have good chemistry when it comes to picking places. I'm always going to say Mexican.
Always.
He's never going to say
You're a woman of God. That is the right answer. I love that. And so this song, it speaks to the struggle in the lowest moments. And we know we serve the God of the mountaintop and the valley. Can you kind of just speak to the message of this song and how it kind of connects to the documentary that we're going to see today? I brought my own popcorn.
Okay.
And I didn't really, but I'm fasting. I'm not fasting. I just want to be spiritual. But the message is, I think, something that all of us can relate to. I think if we're honest, I tell people all the time when we're leading worship, it's easy to worship when you remember like where God's brought you from.
Yeah.
It's easy to worship when you remember how good he's been. And sometimes that takes looking back to a valley moment.
Yeah.
Can you kind of just speak to the heart of this song and where it came from and all those things?
Well, I think we're all either, exiting a valley, in a valley, or heading into a valley. That's just life.
Yeah.
And so I think it can be applicable to anybody, but I the whole reason we're here today is because, my husband and I started a Christian mental health nonprofit, and I've been, writing curriculum and getting things ready for an inner healing retreat. And in preparation to do that, I started scoping out everyone's retreats and just going to them and figuring out, like, God, what have you called us to do? What have you called me to do? And in preparation for that, I really needed to get away and hear from the Lord, because I felt like some pieces were missing. And I was like, how do I help people walk through their own valleys? And it just so happens we had just released Meet Me in the Valley. We had already been contemplating and brainstorming, how could we make some meaningful content around this song, not just a lyric video or a selfie video, but something really meaningful that would spark, questions. Yeah. And so we, started talking, and as we were talking, one thing led to another. And then the next thing you know, I'm buying a Mount Mary tent. And I think...
Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, I'm looking all over Facebook Marketplace. And so, when I got to the Valley, I did not anticipate some of the things that I would encounter there. I think the fear alone was pretty overwhelming. And so you'll see it in the documentary, but I think it's beautiful. My husband and his friend scored it, and it's just stunning. The video is literally just stunning of how beautiful Death Valley is. Yeah. For those who don't know what this is, I'll just recap. I spent 3 days camping out and fasting alone at the bottom of Death Valley. And there's a reason they call it Death Valley. There is nothing there. I mean, no water source, nothing to eat. I mean, it is literal desert. Yeah. And so, man, did I have a lot of sermons after I left, just to the experience there and what it meant to me and what God showed me along the way as far as how I can help people walk through their own valleys.
Wow, that's incredible. And I think, what a visual that is. And even you mentioned you went there. We just took our kids to the Grand Canyon. But just that whole, when you get to a place like that, where number one, you're kind of surrounded by how do you not, point to a creator in that moment? There's so much evidence that's right there.
It's pretty overwhelming.
It is, yeah.
I said in the documentary, I think it's like being at the beach. When you look out at this massive ocean, you can't deny that there is a God, and that the world is so much bigger than you. We're such a small part of it. And as I looked out in this valley, it's just I couldn't see anything for miles and miles and miles and miles, miles and miles and miles. And it's pretty overwhelming.
Yeah. I think what's great about a song like this is that it's going to give language to people who are in their valley. I think a lot of times we don't know what to pray, and I think that's why songs are so important. They're it's kind of like the soundtrack to our prayer, if we'll let it be. And so I think songs like this will give people language in their valley moments.
The beautiful thing about songs too is that music bypasses the brain. Yeah. And so when you're in a healing journey, I stand out at the table every night after events and shows and different things. And I listen to people's stories, and the way music touches them in their journey is pretty incredible. But I think that's due to the fact that they're not having to think through it. Their brain's not having to work. It's just going straight to their heart. Yeah. And the Lord is using that. Yeah. And so that's my prayer for this song. Yeah. And verse 2 says, if this is where the broken things are brought to life, then lead me through the wilderness, but don't leave me aside. And I think so many of us are, like I said, exiting one, in one, or about to go through one. But we don't often talk about it. Yeah. Sometimes we just stuff it and move right along. And the way to healing is through grief and through acknowledging it. And so my prayer is that my takeaway really, my prayer is that people will come away inspired to get with God and to take time to sort through, like, what do I need to acknowledge? What do I need to heal from? God, how am I needing to silence the noise in my life to hear from you? Yeah. And that's what I hope people get inspired to do for themselves in their own way. Because not everybody is going to go camp out in Death Valley for 3 days.
Watch this space. You're going to start a TikTok trend of people who are like, I'm out here to Tasha's song. haven't eaten Chick-fil-A in 4 hours. You know, no,
Oh my,
but yeah, well, I love that. And you know, you mentioned, you know, just being there and all the sermons you could preach. I heard somebody say one time, and I think it's really powerful, and I think it connects to your message. I think it was 2004, or no, excuse me, 2000, yeah, 2004, 2005, before many of your listeners were born. No, I'm kidding. But isn't that crazy? They're like, Gen Z is here, y'all. They're working. But I guess it rained in Death Valley.
Yes.
It's like a significant historical amount. And when it did, things began to grow, like because of the rain. So what they discovered is it wasn't fully dead; it was just dormant.
wow.
And so I think what a song like this does is it gives rain
Yeah.
to the valley. So
I cannot wait
listen.
for you to see it, because there's a moment in there that you're going to love. So we're not going to share it because I have to go watch
no
it.
spoilers.
Yeah.
So awesome. Well, thank you so much for hanging for a few minutes. We always love to wrap with just a fun question, just because we're nosy and we want to know if you were to go to Chick-fil-A right now, what's your order? What's your go-to? Unless you're a vegetarian, and then what?
It depends on if I've OD'd on nuggets
Okay.
because I had kids, or if it's been a while. I mean, I did have Chick-fil-A yesterday in an airport, so
Come on.
it was breakfast.
Okay.
I got a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit.
Whoa.
Never muffin, never
You're a carb eater.
always biscuit, because I'm from the South and we're not doing those.
Come
We're
on.
not doing that.
We're not doing that.
Biscuit.
So we fast, we pray, and then we
And
eat
then we
Chick-fil-A.
eat a biscuit.
We eat a biscuit. Well, thank you so much again.
You're
Y'all,
welcome.
if you've not streamed Meeting the Valley, is it out right now?
Yeah,
It's out
it's
right
out.
now. Go stream it on Spotify. Get it up. Put it in your TikTok story. I don't know, whatever kids are doing now, you need to do it. And this documentary, you won't see it now, but you'll see it eventually,
Yes.
and you will love it. So thank you again, Tasha.
Thank you.
So bye, y'all.
They're the Christian music guys. Yeah, the Christian music guys.